This podcast is brought to you by the School of Advanced Study, University of London.
Thank you all for coming. It's nice to have a small audience. Oh no, this one's like that wasn't serious. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, great. Because really what we want to do is, it's going to be a reading, of course, but we also want to have a sort of workshop aspect to it, so it's great to have a small audience. I realized that I was sitting behind the screen, so I was summing up for a bit. So, welcome. And we have Ulrike Ulrich here and Marielle Sutherland. And I just want to give you a little introduction to them, so you know what they've worked on and who they are. And then we'll start off by reading a text that Ulrike has worked on in German, while you can read it in the English translation. So you have to work in parallel, okay, listening and reading, before we then get on to talk about the translation as such. So Ulrike was born in Germany, but she's lived in Austria and in Switzerland for quite a long time now, since
2002.
Oh, right, yeah, quite a long time. And she's published two novels, Fern, bleiben in 2010 and Augen 2013, and a collection of short prose texts in 2015. She's also active in several writers' initiatives and is doing workshops for young people in schools, at university, and also workshops for migrants. Are you working with migrant writers? Or?
No, I'm it's an initiative for people who are Writers-in-Exile.
Yeah.
But I'm not doing workshop, it's just organizing.
Organizing, okay, right, great. So Ulrike has won several prizes, amongst them prizes which I think are totally wonderful, which have enabled her to write her next piece on the money that she's won. And in fact, she's currently in London on a scholarship provided by Landis Gyr. Is that how they are pronounced? They're a bank, aren't they?
No.
No? Are they? No? No? Anyway, it's a foundation.
It's a foundation, and I should be able to tell what they're doing. I think it's some technical stuff.
Oh, right, okay. But they must be wonderful because they're providing you with this stay in London. And from what I gather, you've been using this stay in London in the most wonderful way by actually getting involved in European Poetry Night and other activities, which is really great. Just a few words about Ulrike's texts, for those of you who haven't had a chance to read anything by her. It's a very precise way of writing, as in all her texts there's this very strong feeling for the language, which is very rhythmical, very precise, but precision doesn't have to mean it's kind of technical or sober. It is often very rhythmical and often touches on atmospheres that are just caught, just so, in a moment. It's often political writing, but never heavy, and I like it for that. So, I think Ulrike has found a perfect translator in Marielle. Marielle did her PhD on images of absence, death, and the language of concealment in Rainer Maria Rilke's poetry. And she's also translated Rilke's poems, or quite a lot of Rilke's poems, and there's a wonderful publication, wonderful book, which collects her translations, which came out as part of the Oxford World Classics series in 2011. We've been working on several projects together, so she's translated several authors who've come here to the Institute, and Marielle has been not only translating but also reading her translations for us. I think her style and experience suits Ulrike's writing very well, but we'll see about that. So, yes, I think best to start off with a reading of your original text. But maybe first one question, do you all know Heidi? No? Okay. Do you want to say a few words about Heidi?
Okay, Heidi is she's the heroine of a children's book, which is one of the most published, most translated books at all in the whole world. Obviously, I had to look it up for the text, and I found that I think it's somewhere in the text 50 languages. 50 languages, yes. And it's about a small girl who is an orphan, and she has to go. She's a Swiss girl. She lived all her life in the Alps, and I think she's 8 or 7 or something when she has to. She's by her aunt. She is transported more or less to a family in Frankfurt, where she knows nobody, and the aunt is going to Frankfurt because she's working. She has a good job there, but she never cares about her anymore. She just leaves them with these people, and there is the whole novel. It's a very big novel. I think the point is very much about how she belongs to the in this world of the mountains, and she has a lot of. I've just read. It's called the Schweizer Krankheit. It's Heimweh.
Called the Schweizer Krankheit.
And there is a word for it. It's not used very much, but I found that it has obviously been an issue with all the soldiers who went abroad, and so she is homesick when she's in Frankfurt with this family, and she's there with a girl and Clara, and later Clara she's very sick, and later she comes to the Alps to see Heidi, when Heidi's finally back with her grandfather in the Alps, and then Clara gets well, because she's in the Alps. That is a very short version of Heidi, but it's very much about where your home is and where you, and this is an old story. I read it recently for this piece, which is I think my newest text. It's my first reading today, and then I found it very surprising that it's still so everybody is interested. Everybody knows it. There has just been a new movie, but it's very old-fashioned, the whole thing. So that's what the Vorgeschichte.
Great, thank you.
Okay. The very first part is a quote from the Heidi text. Nichts fehlt dir, gar nichts. Du bist ein ganz unglaublich undankbares Ding, und vor lauter Wohlsein weißt du nicht, was du noch alles anstellen willst. Nicht das Heidi. Ich bin nicht das Heidi. Adelheid heiße ich wie meine Mutter. Bin weder Maikli noch Mami noch Rosi. Neutralisieren könnt ihr euch selbst. Auch kein Fräulein, kein Mädchen. Adelheid heiße ich, und wenn ihr mich nochmals verwendet, im Abstimmungskampf, Zweitwohnung oder zweite Röhre, wenn ihr noch einmal fragt, was das Heidi wohl sagen würde, ein Plakat noch, ein Flyer, dann seid ihr nicht los. Nichts sagt das Heidi. Jetzt spricht die Adelheid, und mir langt's. Benutzt mich noch einmal, ein Theaterstück noch zum Wahlauftakt, einmal noch Fremdbestimmung in Frankfurt, Freiheit daheim auf der Alp. Dann nehme ich den Hut. Oh, ich kenne mich aus mit der Fremdbestimmung. Sie hören das Heidi-Lied von den Rebels. In der Fremdbestimmung bin ich daheim. Eure Version von Freiheit bereitet mir Albträume. Schluss mit der Kinderarbeit. Kein Joghurt mehr und kein Müsli. Wegen euch reagiere ich intolerant auf Laktose. Nichts gegen Geißen, ich mag diese Tiere, aber ich will auch mal ohne sie raus. Früher war das Meckern nur ihr Ressort und ich habe gelächelt. Aber damit ist Schluss. Ich bin nicht das Heidi, Adelheid ist mein Name, die von der edlen Gestalt. Mit Heidentum hat das gar nichts zu tun. Aber fromm bin ich auch nicht mehr, tut mir leid. Ich bete nicht mehr wie früher. Der liebe Gott wird's schon richten. Die Johanna, so heißt meine andere Mutter, die hat das geglaubt, hat wohl darauf vertraut. Warten und beten, warten und beten. Seither ist vieles passiert, vieles brach ab. Wenn sie wüsste, Johanna, sie würde rotieren in ihrem Grab auf dem Sielfeld. Doch, ich kenne noch immer die Namen der Blumen, Weißröschen und 1000 Güldenkraut. Aber ich kenne jetzt auch Beznau und Mühleberg. Ich lebe im Tal und ich lese die Zeitung. Ich kann lesen und wählen. Ja, ich wohne tatsächlich in Zürich. Die Johanna gehe ich manchmal besuchen. Es bringen noch andere Blumen aufs Grab. In der Hardau wohne ich, im 22. Stock. Ich liebe den Ausblick über die Stadt, über die Gleise bis zu den Bergen. Ich liebe die Berge. Noch immer, natürlich. Die können ja nichts dafür. Es geht ihnen auch nicht viel besser als mir. Ich fahre immer noch gern nach Graubünden. Gehe regelmäßig dort wandern, bloß nicht barfuß. Und auch nicht im Heidiland, sicher nicht. Wart ihr mal dort? Schon an der Raststätte schrillt zu jeder vollen Stunde das Lied. Komm nach Haus, find dein Glück. Und habt ihr gesehen, was in Heididorf los ist? Heidi-Wurst, Heidi-Wein, Heidi-Kaffee, Heidi-Schocki. Heidi ist überall. Mit Ziege, mit Peter, mit hüpfenden Zöpfen, in blond. Wäre euch offenbar lieber gewesen. Oder sind daran die Amerikaner schuld? Heidi of the Alps. Die goldlockige Shirley Temple, die blond geflochtene Jennifer Edwards. Ich bin nicht blond und ich bin nicht das Heidi. Nicht Unschuld vom Lande, nicht heilige Einfalt. Ich bin nicht der Engel im Haus. Ich bin Adelheid, die nicht schlafwandeln muss, um den Ausgang zu finden. Ich verdiene mir die weißen Brötchen jetzt selbst. Freie Mitarbeiterin bei der Blindenbücherei. Nein, ich bin nicht in fremde Herrschaft geraten. Danke, Öhi, danke, Doktor. Nichts gegen die beiden. Sie haben jetzt eine Alters-WG im Jura. Zufrieden soweit. Hätten bloß gerne ihre Ruhe. Aber die lässt ihnen keiner. Jetzt also Bruno Ganz. Nichts gegen Bruno Ganz, aber könnt ihr nicht mal was anderes verfilmen? Irgendwas anderes? Solange es nicht der Tell ist. Ich habe neulich noch mit der Hedwig telefoniert. Wilhelm habe einen Burnout. Dem sei alles zu viel geworden, dass sie ihn jetzt auch noch Willi nennen. Jetzt muss wieder der Walter den Kopf hinhalten. Sucht euch doch mal ein paar andere Stoffe. Es gibt so viele Bücher, so viele Geschichten, überall auf der Welt. Aber die Deutschen, die mussten ja unbedingt den japanischen Trickfilmcomputer animieren. Heidi, neu in 3D. Sperrt immer noch ihren Halbkreismund auf. Trägt noch dieselben farbigen Kleider. Bloß der Song ist jetzt aufgepeppt und Heidi und Peter sind schlanker geworden. Ich bin nicht das Heidi. Adelheid heiße ich und habe keinen Body Mass Index. Ich bin massenuntauglich. Bin nicht mit der Heidi vom Laufsteg verwandt. Die war gerade geboren, als Gitti und Erika durch die deutschen Wohnzimmer pilgerten. Jetzt macht sie Werbung für Burger und Joghurtgums. Verdient wenigstens was an ihrem Namen, an ihrem Brand oder ihr Vater. Mein Name ist nicht geschützt. Switzerlands Eternal Gratis Topmodel. Wenigstens hatte die Johanna einen Lebensabend im Wohlstand. Aber 50 Millionen verkaufte Bücher in 50 verschiedenen Sprachen? Wer verdient daran? Ganz abgesehen vom Merchandising. Ich sage euch, eine Kampagne noch. Ein neues Produkt und ich mache die Fliege. Den Bergadler gleich. Der war schon immer mein Vorbild. Mit scharfen Sinnen den Überblick behalten. Nicht aufschauen müssen mit großen, staunenden Augen. Ich bin weit und breit immer die Kleinste gewesen. Aber das ist vorbei. Ich bin längst kein Kind mehr. Ich mache es euch nicht mehr leicht. Mich könnt ihr nicht mehr hin und her transportieren. Ich bin nicht mehr leise. Ich mache nicht mehr, was man mir sagt. An mir wird man nicht mehr gesund. Ihr müsst euch jetzt selbst glücklich machen, ihr Lieben. Ich habe das ja gern getan, damals. Ich kannte es auch nicht anders. Everybody's Darling. Das hat ja auch seine schönen Seiten. When everybody loves you. Außer vielleicht die Rosemarie. Damals. Wir duzen uns jetzt, Frau Rottenmeier und ich. Sie macht Erwachsenenbildung. Gibt Deutschkurse für Ausländer. Sie kann brauchen, was sie gelernt hat. Manchmal sagt sie trotzdem noch sowas wie früher, dass die doch froh sein sollen, wo sie doch alles haben und eine Ruhe geben. Aber meistens bleibt sie entspannt, macht sogar Yoga. Wenn ich sie besuche in Frankfurt, dann fragt sie mich, ob das stimmt, was man so hört aus der Schweiz. Sie war noch immer nicht hier. Ich reise gern, manchmal zusammen mit Clara. Wir sind schon weit rumgekommen. Meistens fliegen wir von Basel oder von Bern. Da gibt es kein Terminal E mit jodelnder Sky-Metro. Einmal möchte ich das erleben, dass ich irgendwo hinreise und sage, ich komme aus der Schweiz. Und dann sagt jemand, oh, Genf, Genfer Flüchtlingskonvention oder Dada. Und niemand erkennt mich. Luzern könnten sie sagen und die Festivals meinen. Sophie könnten sie sagen, Hunger oder Täuber. Pippi Lautierist oder Rousseau, Giacometti oder Kübler-Ross, Dimitri oder Del Ponte. Godard könnten sie sagen oder Agota Christoph. In Deutschland kennen sie wenigstens noch den Emil und den Köppel natürlich. Vielleicht löst mich in Deutschland bald der Köppel ab. Was verbinden Sie mit der Schweiz? Uhren, Käse, Köppel. Der Peter findet das gut. Ach, der Peter. Immer hat er aus Angst gehandelt, aus Hunger oder aus Wut. Manchmal denke ich, er ist euer heimlicher Held. Die Faust heben im Rücken der anderen, den Rollstuhl den Berg runter. Aber trotzdem jede Woche ein Zehner aus Frankfurt. Ein Leben lang. Ich hätte ihn mehr beachten, ihm auch mal zuhören sollen. Tut mir heute noch leid, mit welchen Methoden ich ihm das Lesen gelehrt habe. Effizienter als der nette Herr Kandidat. Angst habe ich ihm gemacht, gedroht habe ich ihm mit den Sprüchen aus dem ABC-Lehrbuch von Clara. Stehst du noch an bei RST, kommt etwas nach, das tut dir weh. Willst du noch das X vergessen, kriegst du heute nichts zu essen. Jetzt ist er selbst Kandidat und arbeitet mit genau solchen Sprüchen. Wir treffen uns manchmal am Bahnhof auf einen Café. Er ist viel unterwegs. Bitte lügt, sagt er, aber nicht wegen der SRG. Mit denen hat er es gar nicht gut. Es stört ihn kein bisschen, wenn er Geißenpeter genannt wird. Auch das Image macht ihm nichts aus, solange sie mir nicht Ziegenpeter sagen. Aber dass die vom Fernsehen jetzt auch Asylsuchende, die im Bündnerland zu Hirten ausgebildet werden, als Geißenpeter bezeichnen, das ist ihm nicht recht. Heidi, sagt er, mein Heidi, wir müssen uns wehren. Und da hat er ja recht, wir müssen uns wehren. Bloß heiße ich nicht Heidi, er kann sich das einfach nicht merken. Ich bin nicht das Heidi. Adelheid ist mein Name. Bin weder Unschuld vom Lande noch heilige Einfalt. Und wenn ihr nicht aufhört damit, ein Plakat noch, ein Slogan, wenn ihr mich weiter verfilmt, weiter verarbeitet, wenn ihr mich nicht in Ruhe lasst, dann verklage ich euch. Persönlichkeitsrechte, davon habt ihr doch auch schon gehört, oder nicht? Wenn ihr so weitermacht, habt ihr verstanden? Dann verklage ich euch und ich gehe damit bis nach Straßburg.
Thank you very much. It's great to hear you read it. The gap was intentional. We'll talk about that later. Ulrike, would you like to say something about the reasons for writing this and the context for writing this text?
Yes, there was a. I was looking for this word even before Auftragsarbeit. What? It's a commission. It's like every year there is a book which is called Vice Versa. It's especially about translation. It's because it's in all the language, not in all, but in 3 of the Swiss languages. And this time the theme was Heidi. And so the idea was to write something about Heidi, but I think it would have been, I could have been much less close to it. I really decided to read the whole book again and find out why Heidi is so present everywhere. Why in Switzerland you see Heidi all the time, and there's like when you fly into Zurich, you be you go on Terminal E, then there is Heidi on the train, and yeah, like it's in the book. And yeah, that was the context that this year this vice versa book was about Heidi. And it's just, I think they had just the vernissage. It's just published now.
And it's a really interesting form that you chose there, and you know, the voice is very interesting because you're reworking the character, obviously, and then you are using the footnotes as well. How did you decide doing that?
First, I only had this speech, like she's talking to someone, and then I was thinking about to whom is she speaking, or what is her purpose? Why is she now coming up with this? And then I had the idea that she gets so angry that she sent this letter out to the newspapers. And then I also wanted to have some additional information in the footnotes. And also I wanted her to be this angry person, but she also knows her Virginia Woolf. I don't want her to be more, have these two aspects.
So she's writing in the here and now, isn't she?
Yes.
Yes. And she's linking in with developments that are happening now, with political developments.
Yeah, it's really in this, she has written it the week before, 15th of October. That's the idea.
I feel you expect a lot of your readers, because it's the knowledge, you're expecting that people know the Heidi book, they know popular culture, they know Swiss politics. Is that intentional? Do you want people to go and find out? Or do you feel happy that people don't need to know everything?
I think they don't need to know everything, but I think one aspect of the footnotes was also to unauffällig, to explain some things without really explaining, but referring to them somehow. So, like, I know nearly nobody, even in Switzerland, will know that at this SVP meeting they had this Heidi play staged about Fremdbestimmung, and this is not common knowledge.
Right.
And maybe you could have read this maybe somewhere in the newspaper, but and that's why I thought some things I want to explain somehow, because I think it's necessary, and other things I think I realized when I read it that maybe the sentence, I find the exit, I don't have to walk to find the exit. If you know the book, you know, she escapes whilst sleepwalking. She's really not a Pippi Langstrumpf character. She's not a rebel. And if you don't know this, I think it's not. I hope it still works.
Can I just say also, you've got to also remember that the fiction is that Heidi's written this letter to Swiss newspapers, so you've had to kind of strike the balance between the intended audience of the text, which is the Swiss public who would know all of this stuff and would know Roger Koppel and everything, and then the reader who could be a German reader, a German language reader from any country. So I guess that's how the footnotes work as well, is to say, well, this is presented as a letter that was sent to the Swiss people, really, I suppose. Yeah.
And what would you say about the tone? How would you describe the tone of your text? Because you mentioned that she's angry, but
yes, I think I mean the tone has a lot to do with the reason why she's doing this in the first place. and like this Adelheid is my name. She really wants to make a point, and I think, but I also have to admit that I have other monologues that are a little bit similar. Angry women talking. it's a thing.
But it is, I mean, it's angry, but it's also light-hearted, isn't it? Yes. Okay, thank you very much. I think it's probably best to hear Marielle read her version so that we get a sense of what it sounds like and how the rhythm works. So you can follow the German text on here.
I apologise, I've got a bit of a cough, so it might interrupt the flow a little bit, but I'll try my best. Not your Heidi. You want for nothing, nothing at all. You are an unbelievably ungrateful little thing, and because you are so well off and comfortable, you have too much time to think of all sorts of naughty things to do. I am not your Heidi. Adelheid is my name, same as my mother's. I'm neither lass, nor mama, nor granny. You can neutralise yourselves. I'm not a miss either, or a girl. Adelheid is my name, and if you use me again in a referendum battle or in a campaign against building second homes or a second tunnel, if you ask again what our Heidi would say, if there's one more poster or flyer, then I'll be off. Your Heidi is saying nothing. This is Adelheid speaking now, and I've had enough. If you exploit me again, if you stage another Heidi play to kick off an election campaign, if there's another heteronymous determination in Frankfurt, freedom at home on the Alp, I'll pack my bags. Oh, I know it well, heteronymous determination. The rebels will now perform the Heidi song. I am at home in heteronymous determination. Your version of freedom gives me nightmares. No more child labour, no more yoghurt and muesli. I'm lactose intolerant because of you. Nothing against nanny goats. I like these animals, but sometimes I'd rather go out without them. Bleating and bitching used to be their department alone, and I smiled away. But not anymore. I am not your Heidi. Adelheid is my name, she of noble stature. Nothing to do with German Heiden, heathens. But I'm not pious anymore either. Sorry, I don't pray like I used to. The good Lord will put things right for sure. Johanna, that's the name of my other mother, she believed that. She probably trusted in it. Wait and pray, wait and pray. A lot has happened since then. A lot has gone downhill. If she knew Johanna, she would rotate in her grave at the Zielfeld Cemetery. However, I still know the names of the flowers, rosebay, willow herb and centaury. But now I also know Betsnau and Mühleberg, the power plants. I live in the valley and read the paper. I can read and vote. Yes, I actually live in Zurich. Sometimes I visit Johanna. Other people put flowers on her grave. I live in the Hardau high-rise on the 22nd floor. I love the view over the city, over the railway up to the mountains. I love the mountains. I still do. Of course. It's not their fault. They're not doing any better than I am. I still like going to Graubünden. I hike there regularly, just not barefoot, and not in Heidiland either, certainly not. Have you ever been there? The song blares out every hour on the hour as soon as you get to the roadside services. Heidi, Heidi, please come home, find your joy. And have you seen what's going on in the Heidi village? Heidi sausage, Heidi wine, Heidi coffee, Heidi chocolate. Heidi is everywhere, with goat, with Peter, with bouncing plats, and blonde. You would obviously have preferred this. Or is it the Americans' fault? Heidi of the Alps, the golden-haired Shirley Temple, the blonde, plaited Jennifer Edwards. I am not blonde, and I am not your Heidi, not the innocent country girl, not holy simplicity. I am not the angel in the house. I am Adelheid, and I don't have to sleepwalk to find the exit. I earn my own white bread now. I work freelance at the lending library for the blind. No, I didn't come under foreign rule. Thanks, uncle, thanks, doctor. Nothing against the two of them. Nowadays they live in a shared house for the elderly in the Jura Mountains. quite content. They both just want peace and quiet, but no one wants to give it to them. Now it's Bruno Ganz. Nothing against Bruno Ganz, but can't you film something else for once? As long as it's not William Tell. Just recently I spoke on the phone with Hedwig. She said William was burnt out. It all just got too much for him, on top of everything else. They're calling him Willie now. Now it's on Walter's head again. Can't you find some other material? There are so many books, so many stories from all over the world, but the Germans just had to go and computer animate the Japanese cartoon series, Heidi New in 3D. Her semicircle mouth still wide open, still wearing the same colour clothes, but the song has been jazzed up, and Heidi and Peter are slimmer. I am not your Heidi. Adelheid is my name, and I don't have a body mass index. I'm unsuitable for the mass market. I'm not related to the Heidi on the catwalk. She had just been born when Gitty and Erica's Heidi song was blaring through German living rooms. Now she does advertising for burgers and yogurt buns. At least she's earning something from her name, from her brand, or her father is. My name is not protected. Switzerland's eternal cost-free top model. At least Johanna spent her twilight years in relative prosperity, but 50 million books sold in 50 different languages. Who is making a profit from this? Quite apart from the merchandising. I'm telling you, one more campaign, one new product, and I'll take off, like the mountain eagle. That bird has always been my role model, keeping track with ultra-keen sensors, not needing to look up, with big wondering eyes. Whoever I was with, I was always the smallest, but no more. I haven't been a child for a long time now. I'm not going to make it easy for you anymore. You can't transport me back and forth anymore. I'm not quiet anymore. I won't do what I'm told anymore. I'm not beneficial to your health anymore. You have to make yourselves happy now, my friends. I did enjoy doing it, back then. I didn't know any different. Everybody's darling. That has its upsides too. When everybody loves you, except perhaps Rosemary, back then. We're on first-name terms now, Frau Rottenmeier and I. She's in adult education, teaches German to foreigners. She can use what she's learned. Sometimes she still says those things, though, that they should be happy, because they've got everything, and just give it a rest. But she's mostly laid back, even does yoga. When I visit her in Frankfurt, she asks me if it's true what's being said about Switzerland. She's still never been here. I like travelling. Sometimes Clara and I go together. We've been to a lot of places already. We usually fly from Basel or Bern. There's no Terminal E with a yodeling sky metro. One day I'd like to travel somewhere and say, I come from Switzerland, and to hear someone say, oh, Geneva Refugee Convention, or Dada, and to find no one recognises me. They might say Lucerne, meaning the festivals. They might say Sophie Hunger, or Sophie Teuber. They might say Pippi Lotterist, or Rousseau, Giacometti, or Kubler-Ross, Dimitri, or Del Ponte. They might say Jean-Luc Godard, or Agota Christoph. In Germany, they have at least heard of Emile, and the SVP's Roger Couple, of course. Perhaps Couple will soon replace me in Germany. What do you associate with Switzerland? Clocks, cheese, Couple. Peter thinks that's good. Peter, oh dear, he's always acted out of fear, out of hunger, or out of rage. Sometimes I think he's your secret hero. Raise a fist into the backs of the others, the wheelchair down the mountain. Nonetheless, a tenner from Frankfurt every week, for a lifetime. I should have paid more attention to him, listened to him once in a while too. I'm still sorry about the methods I used to teach him to read. More efficient than the tutor, the nice hair candidat. But that the television people are now also calling asylum seekers who are training as shepherds in the Bündner region, Geisenpeter, he's not happy about that. Heidi, he says, my Heidi, we have to defend ourselves. And he's right about that, of course. We have to defend ourselves. Only my name isn't Heidi. He just can't remember that. I am not your Heidi. Adelheid is my name. Neither the innocent country girl nor holy simplicity. And if you don't stop doing it, One more poster, a slogan. If you keep filming me, processing me, if you don't leave me in peace, then I'll take you to court. Personality rights. But you've already heard of these, or haven't you? If you carry on like this, you understand, then I'm taking you to court, and I'll take it all the way to Strasbourg.
Thank you, Marielle. Okay, brilliant. Can we kick off by perhaps, can I ask you both about the cooperation and how that worked, talking to each other about the translation process?
Yeah, by email initially, and then we met up when I was nearly finished and went over it a bit. I would send a paragraph or two, and I'd write, is this right, or have I missed something here, or what do you know, how do I do this? Come on in. And Ulrike would then send it back with her comments, and we did that for quite a while.
So you produced your own version first?
Yeah, I just piled in.
I mean, it's a really hard text to translate, isn't it? I mean, the very first sentence, let's go back to the beginning. What was the very first, after the quote, Ich bin nicht das Heidi, you know.
Yeah. Yes, well, I didn't realise that Das Heidi was actually used in the novel itself, and I didn't really realise that it was used as a diminutive. I understood that you can use the determiner in front of a name in German more than you can here. And then I realised that actually this is used throughout the text, so I realised that I couldn't say the Heidi. I couldn't say that at all. And so I started off by saying, well, it's obviously something to do with a particular kind of version of Heidi, so I translated it as, I'm not that Heidi. I'm not that Heidi, the one you mean. And then it was Ulrike who said, when I said, what about this das? And Ulrike said, well, it's both a diminutive and it's the idea of the neutral gender of the little girl.
Yeah.
And there was no way I could get that neutralisation really without using, so that's why I put that.
But this interpretation of not that Heidi, so what do you think about that? Because that is also in the text, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. But I start so much with the neutralizing part
Yes.
that I really, I felt your Heidi is more like the Heidi you made yourself. But not because she is no Heidi at all. She's not that Heidi, she is Adelheid.
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
But I think in the Gyr you have both interpretations in there to a certain extent. Because if it's Gyr, then it's also a kind of, making it smaller.
Yes, yeah, she belongs to somebody,
Yes,
and she isn't
exactly.
her own person,
Yes,
and she's
yes.
a kind of appendage to somebody
Yes.
else, perhaps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
That's why I went for that. Yeah.
Solution. What about the footnotes? So you put in more footnotes.
Yeah, I put in loads more originally, but then we missed them all out. I was trying to bear in mind that, like I said at the beginning, that this was Heidi had written the letter to the Swiss people, and so that was her intended audience, but that I had a different audience as a translator. So I was putting in things like, I had loads more translators' notes, but the first one here is the one about the Haydn. I think number 7. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
Number 7, did you say?
Oh. How am I doing?
No, it's with the height.
Oh, sorry, height.
It's quite at the beginning.
Oh, I've got a translator's note number 2 is my first one, which is about the neutral gender das. Well, that was my first. I thought, well, nobody will know what when we talk about you can neutralise yourselves. I thought I just didn't know how to do this at all. I wasn't, you know, I struggled over these Kosenamen, Maikli and what is it, Grossi, and had to come up with something for those in English that would kind of get across the kind of neutral in terms of sex. You know, they were no longer sexual beings. They were either children or they were old grandmas. I tried that, and I obviously couldn't communicate the actual gender side of it in grammatical terms. So I put that into a footnote, and that's a kind of, I suppose, a translator just saying, there's translation loss here, I can't do anything about it, shoot me. But I wanted people to understand that. And then later on there's the Haydn problem as well, where she says, nothing, oh yes, my name is Adelheid, nothing to do with, she talks about she of noble stature. So I put a footnote in there to explain that Adelheid comes from the Old High German Adelheidis, referring to nobility. So I stuck that one in as well, and I stuck in the one about the Haydn. And I also tried to, I didn't want to over footnote it at the same time. I didn't want it to be footnote heavy, with loads of translators' notes that were basically saying, I've given up. I wanted to kind of have a go, and I thought I'd try and put it back into the main text in some form, but I didn't want it to break the flow of the text, or make her sentences longer when they need to be short and punchy. But I wanted people to understand. I also wanted people to understand that this was originally a foreign language text. This is a I felt it was okay for it not to read as a translation, not to sound that people are stumbling over it because it's badly translated, but for them to be aware that she has come from a particular place and is writing in a particular language.
Mostly you achieve that by just adding 1 or 2 other words.
Yeah, but it took a while for me to do that. I first of all, I just footnoted it, and then I came back to it and decided to try and do it. I mean, I did try to do the wordplay with the Haydn. We had a few ideas floating around. I was determined to do it, but no, it wouldn't have been. It wouldn't have worked. And I didn't want to put too much into the main text either. So
you've just spoken about the short sentences and the rhythm that is created through the short sentences. How were you able to translate that into English? How did you maintain the rhythm? Because you do.
Yeah. I think it's quite easy with short sentences. Or there are a lot of them. I think in this text anyway, it's probably easier than trying to identify a rhythm in a longer sentence and trying to sustain that. There were moments where I thought I've really got to keep the stress on the first word, on the first syllable. Sometimes the translation wasn't quite rhythmical because I couldn't work out why, and I thought, well, it's got the same number of words, but it hasn't got the punchy first syllable, such as with Adelheid is my name, because I thought I really struggled with just that sentence. Adelheid is my Name. Is that German?
Adelheid
heiße ich, yeah. So I wanted to say, I'm called Adelheid. That's what I wanted to, that was the natural, you know, I'm not called Heidi, I'm called Adelheid. And then I thought, no, I want that Adelheid is right at the beginning. and I want that to lead, I want that to kind of conduct the text.
And she's not called Adelheid.
Nobody calls her Adelheid. Yeah, nobody calls her.
Yeah,
I
think it's really,
no, I never thought of that. Yeah.
You have this repetition of not anymore.
Yes. This is because I was really very impressed how they write this with the rhythm. I read the text myself. I also I read it out loud, and I realized that it's very easy for me to read because I feel that you really did a great thing, not only with the text but in the semantics, but also with the rhythm. And the only part where I sometimes stumble is this anymore part, because I have this nicht mehr, all the, I have the same thing, but it's in the middle of the sentence, and here it's even more stressed because of the ending.
Well, I noticed around that area I've written here, there are also a lot of M's. Mich könnt ihr nicht mehr hin und her transportieren. Ich bin nicht mehr leise. Ich mache nicht mehr, was man mir sagt. So my eye was drawn to it as a kind of moment where she is, she's using her alliteration, and she's drawing attention to this, and she's pointing the finger, and she's saying, I'm telling you now, you will listen, you are not going to do this, and it is, it's an indirect imperative in each sentence. So, I don't know if I've managed, I did try to reproduce the M's, and I wanted to get the rhythm going there, and I realised there was repetition of the M, and I wanted, and this nicht mehr I wanted to repeat, so I just went for it and went, this is exactly what we were looking for. This is not finished translation by any means. So we want, we want to hear your ideas, and that's great. Yeah, little Heidi. I'm not little Heidi. I'm neither. I suppose what we're looking for here is if she's trying to say I'm not that small person. Then I suppose I was looking for the idea of stature. I have status that I'm creating myself through my voice, and that's kind of what I was going for there. But we didn't come up with all that many variants on that, did we? We had a figure, I think.
Yeah, then we tried to do something completely different because we wanted to have the heathens.
Yes.
But that didn't work at all.
Yes, we were trying to get something out of gentility and gentile, even, which I didn't realise could mean Gentile as well. But then it became quite obscure.
There are certain instances where what you do is not just a translation but an interpretation. And I think that's really good. So one example is the Ach Peter. Peter Udir. That could have been all kinds of other things.
Yeah, I did. I suppose that was translated.
Did you play around with that?
No, you sent it to me like this, and I thought this is obviously different. I liked it, and I didn't know. That's maybe the thing with that I don't know all the nuances of the English, of course, but I had the feeling, Peter, oh dear, that's really Peter.
It was not Peter. But yes.
I don't know.
But so it was the same sense that you had.
I think so.
That's great, because that is an interpretation really of the mood rather than giving more information, which you do at other points. So I thought,
what would be another alternative for the Ach?
Well, I suppose you could have just taken the easy way out and saying, oh, Peter, or something.
Saying, oh dear. Yes, I suppose I was saying.
Yeah.
I've given up on him.
Yeah.
Well, she hasn't. She still meets him for
Yeah.
coffee, but
And she says, Translator.
yeah, does she?
Yes.
Oh, the Peter. That Peter. My Peter. Your Peter. Yeah.
Yes, I think this is.
So, Marielle, do you think on the back of this conversation you would want to change something?
Yes. Sorry. But yeah, I want to work again on right at the beginning. I'm neither lass nor mama nor granny. I want to think about that again because I've had you've given me some ideas on that. And yeah, I missed out a sentence altogether, which is great. And it doesn't annoy him a bit or in the slightest or something like that. And maybe spin out the heathen's hiding a bit more in the text.
So we just have to find you a place where you should publish this, because it would be really nice to see the two texts together somewhere.
That would be great. Actually, I have a reading in London in 2 weeks, and I wanted to read the English. It's got polished.
That's it.
Polish it now.
Where is that?
It's actually the Austrian Cultural Forum.
Okay.
No, it's in the context of it.
Yeah.
And she of noble stature as well, perhaps not kind or...
Yes. Brilliant. Thank
Thank
you
you
very much.
Thank
both
you
of
very
you
much.
again.
That was